Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jess. I just got out of work. I know this is a very informal vlog intro and kind of weird because we're in the car, but we're going on an adventure and I'm taking you with me. Today is independent bookstore day, so I'm going to go to one of my indies and try to see if I can pick up some goodies, some kind of merch. Do I need to be buying more books? Absolutely not. Am I gonna buy books anyway? Yeah, we're buying books. You already know we're buying books. As far as I'm concerned, you're an accomplice and you're enabling me to go buy books. So let's head to the bookstore and I will try to film while I'm in there. Hopefully it's not too insanely busy. See you soon.
3 hours later.
Okay, I am now home. I was not able to film anything in the store because there was a lot more people in there than I expected. Also, my fiance went out today and got some yummy drinks for us, and so I am going to be drinking a Sakura matcha latte at 5:30 p.m. when I'm working tomorrow. Let's get into the books that I got. I only got 2. So the first book that I got is The Antiquarian's Object of Desire by India Holton. This is the 3rd book in the Love's Academic series. So this is the 3rd one in that series. It follows a different couple than the first 2 books. They do the typical romance thing of each book having a different couple. The blurb on this one says, when 2 history professors and best friends are forced to fake hate to protect their reputations, chaos ensues in this rollicking historical fantasy rom-com. Interesting, so it's not a fake dating, it's a fake hating. Interesting. From what I remember from the first 2 books when we saw little snippets of these characters, they sounded really interesting as characters, and I think that the dynamic between them will be really fun. So I'm hoping that this one will be a hit. I personally really liked The Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love. I gave that one 5 stars when I read it, but I think Geographer's Map to Romance I gave a 3 or a 3.5 star. I did not like that one as much as Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love, so I'm hoping this one stands up to the first one. We will see. And the next book that I got, aka the last book that I got, is called Honeysuckle by Bar Friedman Tell, I believe is how you say the name. So this one I believe is like speculative or literary horror. I think it's like a fantasy horror. The premise of this one sounds really, really interesting. It's a fairly new release. I think it came out only within the last couple months. Obviously buying a hardcover brand new without a sale definitely hurts a little bit, but again, I'm supporting independent and local bookstores, so it's worth it. But this one was actually not that expensive. It was $29. To briefly synopsize this one, it seems like it's about a boy whose sister builds him or creates him a playmate, a friend, out of flowers and words. And so it seems somewhat magical, definitely fantastical elements going on. I don't know where the horror is going to come in, which is the interesting part. But I think that the dynamic between the little boy and the little girl starts out very cute and wholesome because they're just playmates, they're just friends. But I think it becomes kind of a little bit more uncomfortable because you have a little boy who is growing up and becoming a man, and then you have this girl made of flowers who is getting remade and recreated every year, but she's not aging with him. So it doesn't seem like it's going to be a completely wholesome, I mean, I doubt it's going to be wholesome. It's a horror. Also, sorry if you hear like rattling, we're doing laundry. This sounds really, really enticing. It sounds really intriguing. I really love the premise of this. I definitely have high hopes for this one, but I'm really hopeful about both of these, honestly. I'm really hopeful that both of these are going to impress me. So these are the 2 things that I got for Independent Bookstore Day. Okay, so that's it for the little independent bookstore section. I am gonna go shower and get comfy now because I'm still in my scrubs and I want to drink some more of that matcha. Am I gonna regret it later? Yeah, absolutely. I will come back in at some point and fill you in on the books that I'm reading and the books that I'm planning to read for this reading vlog, so I will see you then. Hey, so it is my day off today, so of course I have to do a vlog update. So I was playing some Animal Crossing City Folk Deluxe on emulator. It's fun because it's a little bit nostalgic to me. I never played City Folk, but I played the one on GameCube. So it's very nostalgic in that kind of janky old Animal Crossing way. It does make me want to play the new Animal Crossing a little bit just because the older Animal Crossing games are just so ugly sometimes. Like your characters are just horrific. But that's okay. I'm kind of just revisiting the Animal Crossing, like the old Animal Crossing games, just as a little bit of a nostalgia thing. I don't know how long I'm gonna actually play it, if I'm gonna keep playing it. It's just kind of nice to look back and see how the old games were, you know? So let's chat about reading updates because I haven't even talked about what I'm reading yet in this vlog. We kind of just started very informally with the Independent Bookstore Day stuff. So currently I am reading 3 books. One of them is Priory of the Orange Tree, which I talked about in my last vlog. I am still working on it. Yeah, so I'm over halfway into it, just barely over halfway. I'm not even going to talk about the story or the plot or anything about it just because I'm going to save all that for the wrap up whenever I talk about it. Whatever month I finish it in, it'll go in that video. It's definitely a beast. It's, you know, over 800 pages, so I'm, 400 pages deep into it at this point. That's one of the things I'm reading. The other 2 things, mercifully, are much easier. The first thing, non-Priory, that I'm reading is This Is How You Lose the Time War by Amal Al-Motar. I am reading that one for the second time. The first time I listened to it on audio, I think it was in 2024, and this time I'm rereading it physically, but I'm also listening to it on audio because I just love the audiobook for this. It has 2 narrators. I love both of them. I think I'm about halfway into that one as well. It's only like, I think 200 something pages maybe, or even less than that. I really loved it the first time that I read it. I'm rereading it again because of a readathon that I'm currently doing, which is the Aurelium Magical Readathon hosted by Book Roast. So one of the prompts in the readathon was to do a reread, and I chose this one because it's short and it's easy and I know I love it. So that's one of the things I'm reading right now. And then the other thing that I'm reading is also a very short book. It's called Salt Slow by Julia Armfield. It is a short story collection. I've only read 2 of the stories in it. I'm about to start the 3rd one. And so far it's okay. I really liked the first story, but I didn't really like the second story. So that's the only problem with short story collections is you never really know what you're gonna get. You're gonna get maybe a mixed bag. That's everything I'm reading right now. I do have 2 books on my priority TBR that I really want to start soon. I would love to finish This Is How You Lose the Time War and Salt Slow first before starting either of those. So I'm just gonna knock them both out pretty quickly. I'm hoping to finish both of them by the end of the month because it is the 28th today. Thursday is the last day of April, so we are getting close to the end of the month. I would love to finish both of them. I think I can definitely finish This Is How You Lose the Time War. I don't have much left, maybe an hour and change of the audiobook. I don't know if that factors in the sped up rate that I'm reading it at, but I'm only reading it at 1.2 speed anyway. It's not that much faster. I don't like to speed up my audiobooks to 2x or 3x like some people do. Obviously 1.2 speed is definitely slower than my reading speed, but I think that when you increase it too much, it just kind of ruins the narrative performance. For me, I really value the ways that the narrators kind of deliver the story, the pauses, the pacing, the way that they say certain things. So once you speed it up to 2x, I feel like it loses some of that. And for me, that's part of the experience of listening to an audiobook is I want those execution choices, I suppose. If I did listen to them on 2x speed, I would definitely get through it faster and it would be closer to my natural reading pace. But I guess I'm not in a hurry, I suppose, I can definitely do a lot of reading today, tomorrow, and Thursday night. That's all I got for reading updates. I think I'm gonna go to the park today because it's really beautiful outside. I haven't been to the park since the winter because on the days where it's been really nice, I've been working and I don't want to go after work. So on days like today where I'm off and the weather's beautiful, it's nice to go to the park and get some fresh air. I might wait for it to warm up a little bit more though before I go. Play some more games or do something else, and then I'll have lunch and go to the park. But I will keep you posted whatever I end up doing. If I go, I'll take some B-roll, of course. I never know how to end these vlog clips. It always feels weird to be see you guys when I have an update, but I never know what to say. So I'm just gonna say bye. See you.
She sits in an octagonal mirror in her own room, which she never left by the door, naturally.
It's been a few hours. I have returned from the park now. It was very nice, although my allergies were definitely starting to bother me towards the end there. So thankfully I was able to finish This Is How You Lose the Time War at the park. I did not have that much left. I was actually a bit further into this than I thought I was. I had only maybe 25% left. It was just about an hour of the audiobook left. Sorry, I just tweaked the angle of the tripod a little. I want to show you briefly, like not spoiling obviously, but how much I ended up underlining in here. You can kind of see like the red and the blue as I'm flicking through it in my little notes that I've written. Some pages don't have anything on them, but some of them have a lot, like exclamation marks and smiley faces, and I had a really fun time going through and highlighting everything and just reading this book again. It was so enjoyable. Sorry, my coworker was texting me, so I had to grab my phone and reply. I have no idea if this is the same angle as before, I'm gonna be honest. But anyway, I was trying to talk about the premise of this. So this is a sci-fi. It's very experimental, the way that this is written and the prose. It is epistolary, is that what it's called? Where it's written in like letters. To explain the world building in this is very difficult because it's never explicitly said, like what the fuck is going on. But basically you're following two agents of a war across time and space. One side is following the soldier on the side of the agency, which is like this kind of cybernetic, kind of hive mind society where everyone has like a digital kind of memory and they can communicate with their other agents across time and such like that. Again, it's hard to explain, but then the agent on the other side of the war is a member of what's called Garden. The agents of Garden are grown and they're maintained through this nature kind of connection and planting and pruning agents across time. It's definitely like a very different take than the super digital, super cybernetic side of the agency. So they are immediately set up as polar opposites in both the way that they live, the way that they serve in the war, and their cultures as well. And so what starts out as two agents on different sides of a war sending each other taunting letters as they crisscross over each other through time, it turns into something more than just taunting and bickering. It turns into slowly this kind of friendship of learning about each other, learning about each other's side in the war, and questioning whether or not everything they've been told about the other side is true. It's just so beautifully crafted, and it's also extremely, like I said, experimental. Just the prose in this and the way that Motar and Gladstone work together to create these two characters that have very, very distinct styles of speaking and writing and the way that they perceive everything around them, the way that they interact with each other through letters, and the way that they describe their relationship as it's growing, and the way that they describe their eventual love is just so all-encompassing, devouring. I do really enjoy that kind of depiction of love and longing. They describe their love and their longing for each other as hunger or pain. In summary, basically, this is just a really thought-provoking, really experimental little story that captures so many visceral feelings about love and desire. And also, it's sapphic, by the way. I love seeing Red and Blue, because that's their names, taunting each other and like egging each other on in the beginning. But then their taunting becomes more playful and more flirty, and then their flirting becomes much more heavy and substantive. And I do love that about this. It is deliciously sapphic. There is like no spice, I will say. Like nothing happens between these two characters, but the way they talk to each other and the things they say in these notes are supremely horny. If you just look beneath the surface of what they're saying and you look at the context, it's just so deliciously horny all the time. I love it. Anyway, I don't think I need to gush about this book any more than I already have. It's obvious. I loved it. When I read it for the first time back in 2024, I gave it 5 stars. I think I'll probably still give it 5 stars, if anything, maybe like 4.5. I'm so glad this wasn't like a lightning in a bottle moment where, you know, I read it in 2024 and I loved it. And sometimes you're worried about rereading something or revisiting something that you loved. I was afraid of, you know, revisiting it because I was worried I wouldn't love it as much as the first time, but thankfully I did. So that's that for This Is How You Lose the Time War. I did not pick up Salt Slow because I was just focused on finishing that one while I was at the park. I think I'm going to read some of Salt Slow today. Katie Colson is sprinting right now for the Duchess tier of her Patreon, so I think I'm gonna go hop back into her sprints. I did pop in just to say hi while I was at the park. So I will see how much of Salt Slow I can knock out before the next time I talk to you. I'm not gonna chime in with updates on every short story for Salt Slow. I'll just check in when I have some like substantial progress. So anyways, I'm gonna go hop in sprints. I will see you later. Hello, time for a car update. I just got out of work. You are probably going to be able to hear a lot of rain because it is currently raining, actually, believe it or not. First things first, I got a new lipstick. I think I like it and I think it looks good on me, but I'm also incredibly critical of myself all the time, and especially my appearance. I will put the shade and the brand on the side. It's from Necromancy Cosmetica, which is a small business. It's run out of Puerto Rico, and I think it's just a couple that runs it, actually. But they do a lot of fun, like more gothic, alternative colors, and definitely less traditional lipstick colors. So I got a few from them. This is the lightest of the ones I got, actually. Some of them are pretty dark. But anyway, we are not here to chat about lipstick. I mean, maybe we are, but like, we're also here to talk about books. So let's chat about the things that I've been getting up to, because it's been a little bit since I filmed anything for this vlog. I have been filming a little bit in between. I had to film my April monthly wrap-up, and I filmed a journal segment as well, which actually you probably already saw. But I think what I'm going to try doing is taking my journaling process and cutting it down to like a more edited version and putting that into my reading vlogs, because I don't really like doing a whole separate standalone video for the journaling. So I just wanted to try putting it in the vlog and seeing how that goes. And it's short enough that if you guys want to skip over it and watch the rest of the vlog, you can. I love mixing things up and seeing what sticks, so maybe this will stick. The whole idea of putting it in a reading vlog is very inspired by how Katie from Katie is Reading does it, because she puts her journal updating stuff in her reading vlogs, and I thought I really like that, so maybe I'll give that a try. Let me know what you think if you enjoy that. So since the last time I talked to you, I have a few reading updates. I have finished Salt Slow, which is that short story collection. Last time I talked to you, I think I'd only read 2 or 3 of the stories, and now I had finished it. I've also filmed myself talking about it in my April monthly wrap-up. As of when you're seeing this, that video is not up yet. Oh, I also talked about it in my Bewitch or Ditch episode 3, which is live. I read it for that video, and so I talked about it a lot there. I talked about it a lot in my wrap-up, which is yet to be posted. But to basically kind of summarize my thoughts and my feelings on Salt Slow, I overall didn't really enjoy it as much as I was hoping to. It was a bit of a mixed bag, to be honest. And again, it's also hard to talk about it because it's a short story collection. How much can I tell you about a story that's only like 10 pages long without giving anything away? But there were some stories in here that I definitely enjoyed the premise of and the writing of a lot more than others. I did find the writing overall to be a little bit repetitive because it's different than a short story collection where it's all compiled from different authors, because you're getting a mix of things. But when you're reading short stories all written by the same author, it does feel a little repetitive. And I started to get kind of tired of her writing style, because she does have a very specific writing style, especially the way that she uses sentence structure. The certain sentence structures she favors, I was starting to get a little tired of them, I'm not gonna lie. Which I don't remember feeling that way when I read Our Wives Under the Sea, which is one of her full-length books. I don't remember feeling that way about the writing. This collection was her debut, so I wonder if maybe she just kind of refined her writing style a little bit since then. I don't know if Our Wives Under the Sea was her second book or if Private Rights was her second book. I think Private Rights is newer than Our Wives Under the Sea, but I'm also going to read Private Rights at some point. It's on my TBR. So I will be interested to see how I feel about her writing style coming from this debut collection into Private Rights at some point. Because like I said, I don't remember feeling exhausted by the writing style when I read Our Wives Under the Sea, which I really did enjoy. I really liked that book. As for the short story collection, there weren't any short stories in here that I was like absolutely in love with. There was one that I gave 4.5 stars, and that is the self-titled eponymous Salt Slow. I don't know if that's the right way to describe it, but it's the name of the collection. Salt Slow is also the last story in the collection, and I did really enjoy Salt Slow the story. I liked that one a lot. There were a few others that I liked, but I think overall I only gave like 4 of them 4 stars or higher. The rest were I think 3 or lower. You know, it was a mixed bag. I think short story collections can tend to be that way, so it's hit or miss, you know. That's exactly why I don't read many of them, to be honest. But aside from Salt Slow, I have made significant headway in Priory of the Orange Tree. I am about 80% into it. I'm like 79-80%. I have made so much progress in this book. It feels really, really good to say that I have read 80% of this massive fucking tome. I'm so excited to finish it just because I want to say I conquered it, you know? I have no idea if the last few percent of the ebook is like glossaries or something, so I really have no idea when the actual end point is, but I feel like everything is really set up now for the ending and what's gonna happen. All the pieces on this chessboard are in play, and something that I was feeling for a lot of the beginning of the book and the middle of the book was I was seeing like where things were getting set up, but they felt so dissonant from each other, and now they're finally starting to converge. Things are starting to finally click into place. So it's starting to feel like the end game now. We're in the end stages of the book now. I am really excited to see how it unfolds. I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to read another 800-page book anytime soon, so I have no idea when I'm gonna pick up the prequel stuff, because I think think one of them is also several hundred pages long. At the same time, part of me is like, well, it would be a lot easier to get into another epic fantasy or another very intense world building type of book because I'm already primed for it now. I've already broken that seal. So who's to say? I might be warmed up now at this point. I don't want to lose the momentum either, you know? So we will see what happens after Priory. I am very excited to be making some significant progress in that. So next time I talk to you about it will probably be in the next vlog. This will be a 3-vlogger basically, and I will have final thoughts. And the last reading update that I have is going to be the last reading update for this video. I think the vlog's already getting pretty long, and if I try to include the entirety of me reading this book, it will be even longer. So I'm trying to remind myself that it's okay to not finish every book in every vlog, and it's okay to have stuff carry over into the next vlog. Some people probably hate that, but it does take the pressure off a little bit for me to feel like I don't have to force myself to rush through something to finish it in the video. And so in conclusion, the last book I'm talking about is Sunburn by Chloe Michelle Howarth. I started this one just a few days ago. I'm really not that far. I've probably only made it like 15% maybe. I actually have it with me. Hang on. I have the UK paperback version because I ordered this from Blackwell's UK because I hate the US cover. Sunburn was one of the books that I was planning to read in April. That's the month that was last month, yes. I never do like a set in stone TBR for myself, but I was planning to read it for the Magical Readathon that was hosted in April. But because I ordered it from the UK and it didn't ship until like the middle of the month, I didn't really get it in time to read it in April. Regardless, I'm reading it now. It doesn't matter if it was on my last month's TBR. But to basically talk about what Sunburn is about. It is set in the 1990s, I think in Ireland, and it follows a couple teenage girls who are just in school and just living like an average teenage girl life. It's first person in the POV of our protagonist Lucy, and basically just follows her as she is growing up and going through her own like coming of age arc. At the same time, she's also navigating, exploring her own identity and her own sexuality and what that means and what that looks like for her, because she starts falling for one of her female friends and she has to kind of navigate all those feelings of being a queer person. And it's a little tricky because she's trying to navigate all of that in the 1990s, which is like a little bit less queer normative than it is now, but also she's in a small, mostly religious town, and so that's going to bring a lot of tension into it. It hasn't quite gotten there yet, but I'm sure that's going to be a large source of tension for her, especially as she's kind of trying to figure out if her desires are somehow sinful or bad or make her evil, even when it feels so right and so safe and so warm for her to feel the way she feels. She's still questioning because of everything she's been taught and the way that she's grown up and the people around her and how they are going to think and what they're going to say. So it's definitely going to be, I think, a little bit of a harsher coming of age story, as tends to happen with queer stories like this. I've heard that this book is heartbreaking and that people sob reading it, and I don't know if that's in a good way or a bad way, so I am a little nervous. The rain really just picked up, so it's probably really loud. I think that's basically Sunburn in a nutshell so far. There's already so many things that I want to annotate. I've been taking just pictures of the page because I don't have any of my highlighting stuff with me at work, so I'm gonna have to go and add all those annotations in later, because honestly the writing in this is really, really good. It's really beautiful. It's kind of got that melodramatic tone that a lot of teenage POVs tend to have, but it's also really beautifully written at times, especially some of the ways that she describes her love for Susanna, which is the love interest. So yeah, I'm really liking it so far. I hope I continue to like it. So that's the all reading updates. Yeah, that's all the reading updates that I've got, and I've been sitting in my car in the parking lot at work for 30 minutes now, so I think I'm gonna go. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. It means a lot to me that you're here. Comment and let me know down below what you are reading right now or what you've read most recently. And if you want to drop me a comment but you don't know what to say, drop some rain cloud emojis. I don't know, because it's raining. I can't think of anything more creative than that. So I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.